Hello, I'm up at the cemetery, the Ogden Cemetery. I spend a lot of time here. It's one of my favorite places to go. I learned that in Spain. I've been going to, now it's been most of my life. I just like to go places like this to think. It could be an interesting thing being your only company or a bunch of dead people. You can feel them, they can feel your presence. That's probably not even true, but so yesterday, as you saw from my video, I went up and found my place to camp. I constructed a little place for me to sleep and build a fire and everything. And then, because last year I bought camping gear and I never dared to camp out alone because it's so scary. I did it once, like a few years ago, and there was things walking around outside of my tent, and it was just really scary. And so I'm trying to get over. I hope that this is the year where I actually dare to camp out alone and start getting experience camping alone. And oh yeah, I'm supposed to look at the camera, not myself. I just realized that, you guys. So start accumulating experience and everything. So like sometimes, because maybe it's an empath thing, I'm not really sure, but sometimes I'll go to a place and my part of my soul will stay there, and it makes it so my mind can just kind of, I think it's some form of astral projection. I can kind of astral project into that area, but not in a super conscious kind of a way, but I can just kind of absorb the spirit of that area. So I was just doing that. I never really left that place all night. And I got home, and when I got home, I fixed a meal and ate, and started watching videos on how to camp alone, how to get over your fear of camping alone, and everything, and I just started thinking about it, and as I was doing it, one of my neighbors, and I live like the top floor. There's probably like 100 people that live in my building, and I live on the top floor. It's like the opposite of being alone in the mountains. It's nothing like it, but so I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden my neighbor came out to go smoke a cigarette or something, downstairs, and I was scared, really scared, and my mind kept flashing my presence kind of into where that campsite was, and it's nighttime there right now. There's probably some coyote or something rummaging through my camp area and stuff like that, and they're just like, oh look, someone's trying to make a camp out spot here, and like as I was leaving the area yesterday, it seemed like there was a creature that was watching me do it and was kind of excited. Oh good, look, she's making a camp out here, and then when I left, it felt like they were following me and kind of like, oh no, where are you going? I thought you were going to spend the night, here and everything, but I really wasn't. I was just trying to find my spot so that I can know where I'm going. Like right now I know it's like 2 hours. Once you're into the mountains, it's like 2 hours into the mountain, so I can kind of plan things out a little bit better and stuff. But when my neighbor did that and it scared me, I realized, you know what, you're not even in the mountains and you're super scared, and it was good for me because I realized, so much of fear is just your imagination. Obviously, being up in my apartment alone, because I live alone, is nothing like being up in the mountains alone, but yet it was because of my imagination, in my apartment. So it's just kind of extra telling of how much BS is involved in the whole thing. So I've been thinking about it, and one thing is, like, the type of places I go camping, I don't camp out, because I'm scared of people, basically. You never know. Like if I was to say, dude, Mormons are so scary, you would say, what? The Mormon church is the true church. If the true representatives of Jesus, how bad could they possibly be? You must be out of your mind, It's like, oh yeah, you up in your white privileged little booth up there. It makes me want to like talk to some black people or some Native Americans or some kind of minority group that understands what that's like, because people can be super scary. Conservative Republicans, conventional Christians, you're just like, oh damn, they believe God's a man in the sky, and they believe that when you die you go to heaven or hell, and it's just so horrifying, because like they can believe, if they believe those things, like it was their First Amendment right, and they ought to be able to do that because it works for them. That's one thing, but they don't. They believe it's the truth for everybody. They believe that, you know, like next time you're walking down, like down the street and you see like all, you know, like 100 cars driving by, look at them and realize, do you realize like 80% of those cars think that they know the truth, that they think that they know everybody's truth? And they're just going, oh, they're shaking their head at all these people that doesn't believe the same thing as them. And that's the way humans are. Most humans think they know the truth, and they think they know everyone else's truth too. And that is scary. That's why I'm scared of humans. It's horrifying. And so, like, I tend to camp way far away from humans. I think I'm more scared definitely of humans than I am of coyotes or cougars. And there's not really bears in my area. I've heard rumors there are, but I don't think so. Not in the areas I'll go. But you can see, like, when you're down at the lower trails, there's more people, you know. And then as you get up higher and higher and deeper up the mountain and deeper into the mountains, it weeds the people out, and the only people that are left are hikers, you know. And hikers are a different breed of people. They're there to enjoy the nature. They're a really peaceful people. The violent people are all in the city, you know. Serial killers and violent people, I just don't think they have their act together enough to go to get to the top of these mountains. They're just too busy being addicted to drugs and pornography and just the, you know, like hating people and all the things that they do, all their favorite activities in the city, and they couldn't get where I get, you know. So it just kind of, I think it naturally filters out scary people, just that in and of itself. But then, so like you've seen if you look at my blade collection video, you can see I've got a really scary knife. I could just, like, if somebody tried to hurt me, I could just in one chop just chop their entire face off or chop their arm off, you know. So so like that gives me a lot of strength. But I think I'm gonna get a gun, a handgun. So if I have like bear spray, or the world's most violent knife, and a handgun, and just my nature, I'm a fighter, not a flighter, and like I'm ready. Like I just drill in my head. You can beat up a cougar, you can beat up Mike Tyson. You can beat up a cougar, you can beat up Mike Tyson. You can beat up a cougar, you can beat up Mike Tyson. You can beat up a cougar, you can beat up Mike Tyson. I just chant that in my head every day, all day long, all the time. And so I've just got it built in my head. So if there's a cougar, I've got myself trained. You can beat that cougar up. You know, I'll fight a cougar, you know. But a human's a super scary thing because they're attached to all these creatures that think they know everything and think that they're right. So like, if you hurt them, then they're just gonna, you know, they're gonna say you're a bad guy, and everybody's gonna believe them because they believe the same truth that those people believe is the truth, or they're white, or who knows what it is, you know. They're just horrifying. So I guess, like, if I maimed someone really bad, then I guess you could see their blood, and you could see where they go, and then they wouldn't really be able to hide, and they would need to hurry up and get to the city to save their life. Or if you shoot them, then you just would have to leave their dead body there, and then pack up your bags and get out of there and hike out in the middle of the night, you know, which would be kind of scary too. And then just like tell the cops and have them go back up there and find the dead body or something like that, you know. But then you'd have to make sure you have like a legal battle, you know, that you did the right thing, you know. So it's just an ugly mess. But I gotta get over that fear.